What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. It's been a while. It has been... Oh, look how laggy the camera is. That's so annoying. I hate it when it does that. And the annoying thing is I won't be able to fix that for this whole stream. Anyway, welcome back. Oh, that's really going to do my head in. I know everyone's going to say, we're just listening to you, we don't need to see you, blah, blah, blah. It's annoying me. Anyway. Welcome back to another stream. It feels like it's been forever. It probably has been about 2 weeks. Probably about a week and a half, actually. Game week 5, we are getting close to. Only 2 days off now. Not much has happened over the international break. There's not been any major... I'll stay perfectly still. There's not been any major injuries. There's going to be something I've missed. I feel like I've checked FPL loads, but also not checked it loads, and kind of switched off quite nicely. But obviously, I've done videos this week. But yeah, I don't think there's any been major injury news. Obviously, Mendy is back, so Zinchenko is going to miss out for the 5th week in a row, which is frustrating. But otherwise, yeah, no real big news. So this could be a really boring stream. Thought I'd let you know that in the first couple of minutes, just so you can switch off now. But yeah, let's get into showing you my team, my plans, all the questions and stuff, the usual jazz. Just to say, this stream is sponsored by fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. Make sure to check them out if you haven't already. The members area is great. We're going to have a quick look at it tonight. So before we get into the stream, I just played the video, which I have turned the volume up on. And then we'll get into the main stream. So thanks very much to fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. You still can't hear it? Come on, that was much better. I could hear it okay. I should have turned the music down, the actual normal music. But yeah, thanks for them for sponsoring. Great site, great members area. We'll have a look at it in a sec, because I know people are asking a lot about kind of Haller, Barnes, Pookie, etc, etc. I will just say before we start off as well, I've seen 2 people have clicked, again, since the last stream, have clicked the join channel or become a member, whatever the button says on my main YouTube channel. So Mitch Fisher and Kenneth Johansson. I keep forgetting that that's a thing you can do. Your mic is muted. It's definitely not. I don't think it is anyway. Is it muted? No, because surely you can hear what I'm saying. So yeah, thanks for that. I keep forgetting that's the thing you can do. So I will look to update it soon. I need to get some proper emojis, and also update the logo, because it's the old logo. I know I'm awful, but I'll sort that out. How can you pay for Patreon? I'm not sure, but the link is in the description below, and that will tell you all the ways you can do it. Barnes is flagged. Hang on a sec. Barnes is flagged, but like Burnley have basically said he's fine, so I'm not worrying about it at all unless we get any news that he's definitely out. But it sounds like he had a groin strain during the 2-week period that we were off over the international break, of course, and apparently he's now fine, so I'm not really worried. And if he doesn't play, I get Pookie off the bench anyway, and I'm going to bench Pookie. I think I'm going to do it. Could it hurt me? Yeah, potentially. But I think Man City potential for a clean sheet, so plays Zinchenko. If Mendy is miraculously back, then I get Pookie anyway. And I think there's a chance of a Sheffield United clean sheet, and you know, the potential for Lundstrom attacking returns, granted, are quite low probably. But happy enough of him. So, yeah. Why did they flag him? I think they basically flag as soon as there's some news that potentially a player might be out, just in case. So obviously you guys as, I don't know, non-casuals or enthusiasts, whatever words you want to use, will be able to, we'll search further for news and see that he's probably going to be fine. But other people won't. They might make rash decisions, but hopefully not. You're on wildcard. Does that make Aguero essential? I don't think it does. I think the main choice is still between Sterling and Aguero. You could go both plus De Bruyne, especially with Norwich up next. I think triple Man City is tough with a Liverpool player as well. You've got to make some pretty big sacrifices, but with Liverpool double defence not being maybe as what essential as it once seemed to a lot of people, there's ways to go about it. Norwich had 2 weeks to prepare. I mean, they could do well. Look, they might score. I don't know. I feel like all I've done in this international break is talk about why I'm benching Pukki, so I don't want to go on about it too much. Yeah. You only have half an arm tonight. That's how it's always been. Mane captain versus Newcastle. Yeah, I think, you know, let's be honest, it's between Man City and Liverpool again. The question is how deep will Newcastle sit? Probably quite deep. I suppose the bigger question is, can Liverpool break them down quicker than maybe Spurs did? And they've probably got maybe a bit more of a chance. Although they've not got like an Eriksen, I suppose. But yeah, I think Mane captain's fine with Newcastle. Don't think there's, you know, unless you. The only worry for me is Sterling this week because he played so many minutes for England. But a lot of the research people have been doing, it seems to be that there's not a huge chance he's going to be rested like any more than any other week. So probably going to stick with him as captain. If I was wildcard, on which player in each position would I put first? Probably Pope, Trent Alexander-Arnold, De Bruyne. Up front's tricky. I actually think that possibly Haller and Barnes are better options than Pukki for the next few weeks. So maybe Haller. Bench Pukki and play Lundstrom or vice versa. I mean, that's actually in the polls. If you want to vote on the polls, top right hand corner, I've put that in. Obviously, you can see what my answer is. It's on screen. It's on screen. I'm playing Lundstrom, benching Pukki. Will that hurt me? Quite possibly. Might take a punt on Rob Holding. I mean, for Rob Holding, let's see him back first. Sounds like him, Bellerin, and Tierney are getting closer, which is obviously good. But yeah, let's wait till they're actually back into the team first, I would say. Good price though, but I mean, are Arsenal going to suddenly start keeping clean sheets? Don't know. I think they're going to need a bit of time for them all to kind of gel together. What do I think of Guendouzi and Maitland-Niles? I mean, Guendouzi is not going to get many attacking returns, is he? So I don't think he's much of an option. Maitland-Niles is okay until Bellerin comes back. Again, though, it's how many clean sheets do you think Arsenal are going to keep? They've got decent enough fixtures. Watford will be more defensive with a new manager. Any interest? Not really. The thing with Watford is, I don't know if I've seen any. Have I seen any Watford games? I feel like I have. I don't know if I watched a full match. When you look at like the stats and stuff, they're kind of in the middle. They're not like high up or doing really badly on both shots and chances and shots conceded and stuff like that. So they've maybe been a little bit unlucky to lose the way they have. Now again, I've not watched the game, so maybe that's not fair. But yeah, I mean they've got options. DFA's dropped to 6.2, so there's players I don't mind on the Watford team, but they're not players that I would suddenly now be looking to bring in. I think I would want to see how they get on under the new old manager. Any different captain than Sterling? I mean, Salah, I guess. I mean, at some point that might change, but right now I'm pretty happy with Salah Sterling captaincy combo. Would I take a hit to avoid being priced out of De Bruyne? I suppose, without, again, always sitting on the fence, it depends who you're taking out, but I can't imagine too many bad transfers which involve that involve getting rid of Kevin De Bruyne. Sorry, getting Kevin De Bruyne in. Jesus. Keep 4-4-2 or move towards 3 at the back. I mean, I really wouldn't get too hung up on formation. I didn't put it in the polls because I think we've done it quite a few times, but I got a few tweets about what's the best formation, and I think you're really talking about 1 or 2 positions in your squad that change from a 3-4-3 to a 4-4-2 or whatever. So, you know, I'm playing a 5-4-1 this week. Obviously, Pukki will play most weeks and Lundstrom will be benched. So that's 4-4-2. If I swap to Van Dijk and Greenwood, then I could get in another 6.5 forward. Then I'd be 3-4-3. It's like, it's one position. So don't get too hung up on it. Have the main players you think are going to score well. 3 City, 2 or 3 Liverpool, and then build the rest from there, I'd say. I really like Pepe, by the way. I don't have a good way to get him in because there's no way I'm dropping any of those midfielders that would afford him. But I think he's one of the players I'd maybe be looking at for a bit of a punt on wildcard. 5-4-1, are you drunk? But then again, if I swap Lundstrom and Pukki, it's 4-4-2. Like I said, it's one difference. Do I still have faith in Mount? I mean, he hasn't really done anything to make me not have faith. I mean, he's done okay. I mean, it would be nice if he would move back to number 10. Even though he got his goal against Norwich from coming in from the left. But yeah, it'd be nice for him to go back to number 10. Wolves away, Liverpool at home are not great. I have thought about using a transfer to get rid of him this week. The problem is I got him in at 6 million. I think he's risen to 6.4 already. So Chelsea's fixtures are pretty good. Yeah, he's 6.4. Are pretty good after the next 2. Brighton, Southampton, Newcastle, Burnley, Watford. So not bad. And then Crystal Palace. So I don't think it's worth a transfer. Yeah, Daniel James would be a consideration. Iwobi would be a consideration. And, I mean, Ceballos. I think Ceballos I'm kind of too put off of because you just don't know how Arsenal are going to line up week in, week out. Iwobi, a lot of people asked about Iwobi in the chat. Look, I quite like him as an option. I think he's a good price, 5.9. I think he's looked good for the very limited minutes he's had for Everton. All right, let's not pretend that he's played all 4 fixtures and done really well. He's played like a whole game plus a few minutes in another, and then I think did he play in the cup? I can't remember. And he's looked pretty good, but there's a very small sample size of games, of course. But Everton's next 3 fixtures are Bournemouth. 2 fixtures, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, which are pretty decent. Then it's Man City, which isn't great. Then Burnley, West Ham, Brighton. So fixture-wise, they're pretty good. I don't know. I think for that price, I mean, most people would probably side with Daniel James now. 3 goals in 4, you can't really argue with that. Scored another one over the international break for Wales. So confidence-wise, he's going to be, as the kids would say, buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. So, and he's shooting a lot more in the last 2 games, which is good. Maybe that's from cutting inside from the left in the last game. Did help against Southampton. But, yeah, I don't think there's a massive standout. I mean, I'd be pretty tempted to go Iwobi this week if I had to pick one at 6. If I hadn't had 4 price rises on Mount, I would have been pretty tempted to just use the transfer and get rid of him just for 2 games and then see what happens. I don't think there's a massive need for that. I think my team can actually do with 2 free transfers next week. I don't have a plan for them, to be completely honest. Obviously, I'm looking at double Liverpool defence and I'm wondering if I really need it from next week, especially against Chelsea. So Van Dijk could go. I guess one thing that could push me into a transfer is Zinchenko getting dropped for Mendy. Like I said on videos, I'm not worried about that at all. When it happens, it happens. I don't think there's any guarantee that Mendy comes straight back. He's been out for so long. So one thing I'd bite up, for example, would be, I mean, if Mendy comes back, there's obviously then the worry of rotation with Zinchenko. I'd be pretty tempted to do something like Van Dijk to Emerson, if he's fit, back fit and playing, and Zinchenko to Mendy. That would be pretty decent. That would be sticking to 4-4-2 for now. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, like the video if you haven't already. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the Fantasy Football Scout members area. So, what kind of player comparison? I was going to show you how I kind of use the stats for like forwards or any position really. Barnes should be fine. Firmino's in cracking form for the first 4 games. I just don't know if this is the best time to be bringing him in. Cancelo is just not an option until he starts playing. Like, there's no reason to bring Cancelo in my opinion. Is it morally wrong to have Kane in your team as he's a diver? Kane's not that much of a diver, is he? But no, it's not morally wrong. This is FPL. Points win prizes. I mean, I captain Suarez nearly every single week, and, you know, I'm not sure Suarez is the nicest person that's ever played football. But with FPL, points are everything. What's up, Tips? How was my weekend? It was fine. Like I said, I don't miss FPL. Like, obviously I miss football, but I love having the weekend off. I do. I hate to say it because I know people hate the international break. I kind of like it, to be honest. Had some beer. What more could I want with life? I think captain Liverpool fullbacks is a. I don't know if you watched the video midweek. I think Trent, you know, and possibly Robertson. You know, at some point Robertson is going to outscore Trent. Not over the season, maybe, but in a game week it will happen at some point. I think I don't know. I just think it's almost a guaranteed clean sheet against Newcastle. And if Newcastle do sit deep, Trent and Robertson are going to just have free roam to get down the line. So I think there's every chance they could be good captains. Now, as I said in the video, I'm not trying to push anyone into that, and I'm not trying to pretend that I would do that, because I just won't. I'm going to captain Sterling, I think. But yeah, I don't think this week would be the worst option to captain Liverpool defender. If you were feeling mighty brave. Will it be a deadline stream? Do you know what? Actually, they probably won't, no. Yeah, no, basically. Stuff's going to get in the way now on Saturdays. We'll see. We'll see. If I'm around, as always, if I'm around on the deadline time, then I might do one. If I'm not, I ain't. Harsha, what is going on? Thanks very much. Salah Aguero. I think, maybe I have this wrong. I mean, it does feel wrong not captaining Salah at home when he's got a pretty good fixture. But there's a part of me that thinks, and I said this on the video, on the preview, I think Aguero might be the best captaincy choice this week. I don't own him, so there's no bias there for anyone that's worried about that. I just think Sterling's been on fire. De Bruyne has been on fire. Both of them have been over the international break. They've continued that form. But Aguero's had a 2-week rest. So I'd be pretty confident that he would start. Against in Europe, maybe they'll play Jesus. If they don't, maybe Aguero needs a bit of minutes on the weekend to go into Europe. The only thing is with Aguero is, even if he does start, which I'm pretty sure he will, I would have no shock. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see him come off on like 60, 70 minutes, especially if they're smashing Norwich. Obviously, if he's got a few points up until that point, then that's fine. If he hasn't, then that could hurt. Obviously, we saw him win 4-0 last week and Sterling got nothing. So I think... excuse me. I think Aguero is possibly the best captain this week, just because of who he's playing. If Norwich continue to play out from the back and stuff, Man City could really smash it, basically. Maybe it won't work like that, but that's from what we've seen so far, that's what I would expect to happen. But Salah, obviously, he's also had a rest. So I'm playing at home. So a decent fixture. But I think Aguero, Mount, Ceballos or Pukki, bench one. So Ceballos, that's tricky. Mount's got Wolves away. Ceballos has got Watford away. And Pukki's got Man City at home. I think I would bench. The thing is with Ceballos, you just don't know if he's definitely going to start. And that's what would worry me. Mount will. And I think Mount's fixture is not that much worse than Ceballos. I mean, I'm benching Pukki, which kind of tells you a lot. But at least with Pukki, you know he's going to start. Ceballos, you probably don't. So that's what I'd be thinking about. You secretly hope for some international injuries. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do that. I know what you mean. You're not like... Obviously, you're not really wishing for players to get injured, but it does bring a bit... The thing is, I've been thinking about this a lot with my team. I'm super happy with my team. I kind of want Haller in. I don't really have a good way of doing it without kind of triple changes, which are probably not going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And right now, because of the way it's structured, you know, I'm not looking to get rid of De Bruyne, Sterling, Salah. Pukki and Barnes are just doing too good for the kind of price. And of course I'd like Trent, but whatever, I've got Robertson for now. So there's not really the only players I'm really looking at changing around are probably Mount and Zinchenko at some point. So something big needs to happen, I think, for me to, I don't know, show my hand, I guess, and yeah, do something more interesting than what have been so far. What's my thoughts on thoughts? It's all right. How many players are essential? None. De Bruyne's getting close, though, I would say, given his price. We need an Aguero injury. Nah, because that's boring then. Because then it's just obvious to get Sterling. I know what you mean, because, you know, Aguero is a bit of a worry of mine. But, yeah. I think it'd be boring if he got injured. What's the score prediction for City and Liverpool? I think Liverpool win 2, maybe 3-0. I can see 4 or 5 for Man City. I don't see them conceding, but of course, Lies Laporte is out. And they are going to have 2 centre-backs that haven't played together this season. So it is a bit of a worry. Maybe I should play Pukki instead of Zinchenko. But yeah, I think 4 or 5 goals for City easy. If Pukki scores against City, you'll be looking at losing a potential 10 points. -6 for a clean sheet. It's only 4 for a clean sheet and 4 for a goal. So losing 8 points. Kind of. Depends what Lundstrom does, I suppose. Anyway, not going to talk too much about Pukki. At least in terms of me playing. Has there been any Eriksen discussion you're considering Sigurdsson? I mean, Eriksen does suddenly seem like a pretty sweet pick. Obviously, he's 8.8, I think. So he is quite pricey. But obviously, he's not going to be transferred out now. So he's going to be at Spurs until at least January. Lo Celso is out for... I can't remember how long he's out for, but it's a while. It's like October or November. So he's out. So, I mean, Eriksen's really the creative option they have. Trippier's not there anymore, so set pieces. Lamella might take some, I guess, but you'd imagine Eriksen might have the most. Is he going to be like playing for a move away, maybe? I think he's a good pick. The only thing is, I don't know if I'll be getting rid of Sigurdsson. I don't know. The thing with Sigurdsson is it's so easy for people like me who don't own him and aren't taking the price drops to say keep him, but I think he looked really good in the last game. And he is on some set pieces. And Everton did score 3 goals. So they maybe got their shooting boots on now. And I do think Sigurdsson was unlucky in the first couple of games that I watched not to get points. So yeah, I mean, I don't think Sigurdsson to Eriksen is an awful transfer at all. I just don't know if it's the right time to get rid of... I just wonder if you give Sigurdsson 2 more games. You give him Bournemouth away, and I can't remember the fixture again, even though I looked it up. Sheffield United at home? Yeah. Bournemouth away, Sheffield United at home. Do you just give him those 2? I'd be tempted. I know it's frustrating that you've had price drops though. Kunal, thanks very much. Shout out to Mane for Haller. Or Lucas Digne to a 5 million defender. I mean, Salah to Mane, I think, is probably the slightly better option because Lucas Digne seems like one of the best defensive options right now. I just don't know if Haller is that must-have. I suppose it depends who you're taking out. What changes would you make if you played your wild card? Trent would be in. I'd only have one Liverpool defender. I'd probably be playing 3-4-3. Barnes. I did a video on it. Barnes, Haller, Pukki, basically. That'd be the main changes. What's wrong with Barnes? Nothing, hopefully. Pukki or Haller on a wild card. Okay, let's do. Let me see if it. Okay, so look, this is the Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you want to check it out, there is a link in the description below. So if you want to check it out after you see this, make sure you do. So this is the members area. There's loads of cool stuff. We're going to do some comparisons of players that people are talking about, right? So down the side, this is where all your stuff is. So you got a season ticker. So you can. This is pretty cool because you can set it to any game week to start with, and then you can set it by difficulty for attack, defense, etc. You've got to rate my team. So if I put in my FPL ID, that'll kind of give you an indication of what I should be scoring, and if I make any transfers, you know, who might be the best options. But what I'm going to show you is the stats tables, which you can create yourself. So these are the ones that I've got. All attackers. That's basically every player in the game. Defenders, midfielders, forwards. If I just want to do it down. So a lot of us. So let's just do attackers. It's every player in the game, right? So you can set these filters to anything you want. I look at shots inside the box, chances created, big chances, etc. So let's look at Pukki, Haller, and Barnes. And Azzy, I'll get to that question in a minute. Not Harvey Barnes on this occasion. So these are similarly priced, right? So you can just filter it down to the ones you want to see. I've got it set to all matches. Obviously, this early on in the season, all matches is fine because there's only been 4, but later on in the season, like when we're in game week 20, you might not want to see what they've done for the whole season. Players get injured, players don't play minutes, and maybe they're back into the team. So you can set like last 2 game weeks, last 4, whatever. So we've done all matches. So this will show you the stats for these players. So in terms of shooting, obviously Haller has only played 270 minutes. So he's played a game less, basically. But this is kind of, I don't necessarily look at goal attempts only. Shots in the box is probably more prominent, especially for strikers. So they're all pretty similar, given that Haller's played 1 game less, and one of his 3 games was against Man City. So pretty tough. Expected goals wise, he's kind of a little bit higher. They've all got a similar amount of big chances. So I think Haller is good. I just don't know if he's massively better than these two. So if you've got these two already, I don't know if you need to hugely worry about getting Haller in. If you're on wildcard, then these are the 3 that I like. Then you can set shots on target, so obviously Pukki's top of that, etc. And none of them are really creating chances apart from Pukki so far. So that's what you can do in the members area. If you want to check it out, click the link in the description below. You can see my Leighton Baines avatar right there. So, well, actually, okay, I will put Abraham in because he's interesting. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Abraham got his goals against Norwich and Sheffield United. But, I mean, Haller got his against Watford and Norwich. So not maybe that much better. So what I'll do is I'll actually... Haller and Abraham. So Abraham's actually played slightly less minutes. More penalty area touches, the same amount of shots in the box. And he's created 6 chances versus Haller's none. As people said to me on Twitter, though, Chelsea got Europe starting soon. They also got the next 2 fixtures are worse, so maybe that should be into your thinking. But I actually don't think there's that much between these two, based on underlying stats only. I think it's pretty close. So yeah, I think yeah, West Ham do have Villa next, and then it's Man United, whereas Abraham has Wolves and then Liverpool. So, yeah, you would say that Abraham's fixture is slightly tougher. I don't think West Ham against Man United is an easy fixture. So, I guess the point is, Haller looks good. Absolutely. I just don't know if he's essential. As a lot of people seem to think he is. But yeah, definitely a good pick. All the cheap, well, a lot of the cheap players are. So there you go. We had a looky there. How are we looking on the old time? Let me have a look. 41 minutes already. Damn. Okay, so let's see if we've got anything we've not already talked about. Jimenez. The darling. Oh, I forgot one of the... Hang on, sorry. Callum Wilson knows, don't know whether to keep Sal. Yeah, this is a bit like Sigurdsson. You've suffered some price drops for a player that has averaged 5 points per game. Everton and Southampton, I mean, they've got good fixtures. Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Arsenal, yeah, okay, maybe not quite as good. Then Norwich. Honestly, if there's not something you massively need to do, I'd be tempted to keep Callum Wilson. The only thing is, if you go and check out his stats, they're not great. He's not been shooting much, which is a bit of a worry. But yeah, I'd be tempted to keep him just for the fixtures. 5 points per game. He's not really done anything wrong in terms of point scoring. Vishnav, Wood, Van Dijk, Mount, Haller, Soyuncu, and Cantwell. But I mean, Van Dijk's got a good fixture this week. Mount you might want after 2 fixtures. Why can't I think of who G Wood is? Is that Chris Wood? I mean, it can't be Chris. Yeah, it could be Chris Wood. I mean, if that's Chris Wood, I mean, a lot of people... Chris Wood's interesting because a lot of people saying he's due, but I mean, that's based on the fact he just hasn't scored or hasn't scored well. So I'm not sure being due just because they've not scored yet is a good reason. Oh, Greenwood, of course. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's not Chris Wood. Hey, at least we got to talk about Chris Wood. So Greenwood, Van Dijk. I mean, yes, that seems better because you're basically swapping Greenwood for Cantwell, who's a better fifth choice, and getting Haller instead of Mount, and then Soyuncu instead of Van Dijk. I think longer term that's probably better, but obviously Van Dijk does have a good fixture this week, so don't be surprised if he does well. Greenwood, of course. What's the best FPL team now I've seen? Andy's All Stars, best one by far. Salah versus Sterling Captain. I mean, it's kind of on the screen. Wouldn't it be funny if Aguero and De Bruyne and Sterling all got benched this week? It's Haller, not Haller. I know, but I'm just an idiot that can't pronounce stuff. Why would you change your mind about having 2 after just 4 games? Because they just haven't looked as good as last season. What I will say is I actually have considered keeping 2. Because this week I'm fine with 2. Chelsea away, okay, not great. But then Sheffield United away, Leicester at home. Could there be a clean sheet in one of those 2? Quite possibly. Then it's United away, Spurs at home. That gets a bit trickier then. And Man City at home not long after that. So that's the main reason. The fixtures coming up are not nice. And I can always get them back in. The thing about them this year is obviously they've started at a high price. So you're not going to see them. It's not like last year when they were like, what, 6 million? They went up to like 6.5, 6.7, and suddenly it's harder to get them in. Not really going to have that worry this year. Assume I wanted a premium forward, how would I finance it? I would take out Sterling or Salah. That's the only real way. That's how I've set up my team. Thoughts on Son captain? I mean, I thought Son looked really good against Arsenal. And I mean, obviously we know how consistent he can be. Against Crystal Palace, I mean, it's fine. It's not a bad option at all. I just think Liverpool, Man City probably better, as they will be most weeks. But yeah, Son decent enough. What game week do I think Alisson will return? I got no idea, to be honest. Don't know what the deal is there. What players do I think are overpriced? I don't know really off the top of my head. Rashford probably. Any Man United player? Nah, maybe not quite that bad. Who's overpriced? Doherty, yeah. They definitely need to keep some clean sheets for like 6 million. I'm not actually checked. I'm assuming he's dropped in price, surely, because a lot of people would have owned him. He's still 6 million. Jesus. Oh, he's only owned by 2.7%. I do apologise. I don't know if Jimenez is overpriced. I guess he is in current performance. Very, very yawny tonight. That was yawn-y, by the way. Y-A-W-N-Y. Because I feel like when I said that, it sounded like something else. And that is not... This is not that kind of stream. This is just a stream where I yawn for great content. I think Lanzini is a really good option. Creating chances left, right and centre. I think, as we know, he's got Allaire up front, which is decent enough for him as well. So I quite like him for that kind of price point. Again, you're looking at kind of James, Mount, etc. Yeah, I think for that kind of price, he's decent. Oh my god, this is so bad. I'm so sorry. Gale, thanks very much. Took out Mane for Pepe and have triple captain on Aguero. Is that crazy? Who am I to say that's crazy? I think Aguero is the best captain option this week, therefore decent triple captain. Obviously, you got a little bit of worry about Europe and stuff. But it's Norwich. They conceded the most shots in the box so far. He's taken Mane out for Pepe. Do you know what? I love it. I actually love it. You've got a bit of money in the bank. I wouldn't do it, but that's just because me, I'm boring and whatever. But I mean, that's such a fun transfer. I remember when I used to be fun with this game. I mean, Pepe, I mean, that could be a genius move, right? Arsenal's fixtures are about to turn. They're really good. I think they only play Man United out of the top 6 in the next 12, something like that. And his stats have been pretty good. I think he's looked quite good. Just maybe trying a bit too hard right now. And just needs a bit more composure in front of goal. But yeah, let me know how it goes. I hope it goes well for you. And because I don't own Mane, so if it goes well for you, that's because Mane's not done very much. What players are listed out of position, i.e. Lundstrom? Well, DFA was listed as a forward and he's been playing like left for a lot of the minutes. A Maverick wildcard team. No City players. Firmino. I don't know. You want to go triple someone who's got good, like triple Burnley defence or something. Pepe, triple Arsenal. So Aubameyang, Pepe, triple Burnley defence. Mane instead of Salah. That kind of thing. Salah to Aubameyang. Yeah, I mean, those kind of moves are like they're not going to make or break your season. Obviously, it's not going to be the end of the world if it doesn't go right. It's a pretty big call when so many people own Salah. But honestly, Liverpool's fixtures are not fantastic coming up. Would not be the worst time to try something like that. What makes me sure that Sterling will start? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. How can you ever be? I think it's still early in the season. I think that will play into his hands. Should be able to rotate. Every season you start with a strong defence and it gets thinned out for attacking choices. I think that's okay though. I think I said this at the start of the season. Like, generally, the big hitting defenders are quite consistent. Obviously, that hasn't happened with Liverpool at the start. Only one clean sheet in the first 4. A bit frustrating. But you can pretty much pick who's going to start in defence. You can, you know, generally they'll tick along with points as well. And then yeah, you move to attackers once you have a bit more info. Basically, I think that's okay. That's kind of my plan, to be honest. I might not do it with free transfers, but I'll probably do it on wildcard. Is McGinn the new cheap beast? I actually really like the look of Trezeguet, but he's injured, as I stupidly didn't realise when I made the video at the start of the international break. So obviously he's no good for this week, but he had another price drop. I think he's 5.3 now. And I think from when I was looking at him versus McGinn, he was shooting a bit more in the box, but not creating as many chances. Whereas McGinn had a very similar amount of shots, but only 2 of them were in the box or something. So I quite like Trezeguet. Yeah, so we'll do the polls in a minute, so make sure to go and vote on them, top right hand corner. What else was I going to say? I'm going to do the Patron shouts out as well, because there's a good few new patrons. Yeah, he did get sent off, I know, but when he's back, obviously if you bring one of them in this week, you're not going to bring him in. But yes, shout out to all the Patreon supporters, absolute legends. If you want to check Patreon out, the link is below. Slack channel invite as soon as you signed up, and then if you're on the $5 or more tier, then there's a mini league code every single month. So obviously September's already in full flow, and the next one will be in October. So if you want to check it out, link in the description below. Shout out to all the producers, including Elias M, Barry C, Copites. We even let Liverpool fans in. We're inclusive. I assume that's what that is anyway. So shout out to them, new producers, and then new patrons as well on the other tiers: Harry D, Ali AK, and Benji M. So I think the code, just like a bit of admin, the code is out for September. So make sure you go and check Patreon for that. I think most people are signed up looking at it. And if I've missed a shout out or I've not invited you to Slack, I think I've got to everyone that signed up. Just shout at me on Patreon or Twitter or somewhere, and I'll be happy to sort that out. But yeah, come and join the Slack chat. Lots of conversation going on there. And yeah, thanks to everyone for their support. Much appreciated. And we'll do the polls in a minute. Don't panic, they're coming. I don't think we're going to get much news about Barnes, other than he's fine. Don't be panicking about him. Son or Pepe? I mean, you go for Son as the safe pick, I suppose, right? He's done it before. He's in a really good team. He's probably not going to get rotated as much as Pepe might. We don't know yet about Pepe, but Emery does like to rotate a bit. But Pepe's he's just an exciting pick. He's just an exciting pick who could do nothing, could do everything. Can you do live chat on the Slack Patreon? Don't know what you mean. I mean, there's live chat in the Slack channel. Does Vardy crush a Minotaur? His fixtures look insane. Insane after Liverpool. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So, yeah, I mean, that is like 5 game weeks away. That's the only thing. So, would I think about him then? Yeah. But I'm not going to worry about him now. So he has Man United away, Spurs at home, Newcastle at home, Liverpool away. That's pretty bad. I think you can do live voice chat, yeah. We don't really use it though, to be honest. Then it's Burnley at home, Southampton away, Crystal Palace away, Arsenal away. I don't know if that's... I mean, it's good, yeah, but it's 2 away games plus Arsenal. Another away game than Everton at home. But yeah, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Southampton. They're decent. It's just where for me, it's like, where do I fit him in? So that's what's going to probably put me off him right now. But it doesn't mean it should put you off him if you can put him in. I mean, he's Mr. Consistent, right? We've said this a good few times before. Like if you look at his last few seasons, 24 goals, 13, 20, 18, few assists here or there as well. He's kind of a 170 point plus man, so he's going to do well this season. I don't see any reason why not. So yeah, always a good option. Maybe not for the next 4 weeks though. Isn't this the time to start loading on Arsenal attackers? I mean, if you want to get ahead of the game, yes. So the reason everyone's looking at them, they got Watford away and Aston Villa at home, right? So two nice fixtures to come. Man United away could be tricky. Then Bournemouth at home, Sheffield United away, Crystal Palace at home, Wolves at home, Leicester away, Southampton at home. So they got really good fixtures to come. So this could be the time to go on them, but obviously you're jumping ahead earlier than everyone else. And if they do badly, that could hurt. At the same time, you get ahead of them, and then maybe you get a few price rises. Maybe you're one step ahead of everyone else who's then got to make transfers to bring them in. And the one thing I said on the video is, if they do well in the next 2 weeks, people are going to be a bit... They're not going to want to necessarily transfer them in against Man United away. So you could be ahead of the game for like 3 weeks, but I just think they're so expensive. Aubameyang's 11 million. You've probably got to drop one of De Bruyne, Sterling, Salah, Mane. And maybe that's fine if you can fit him in. If you've got like a Kane there, that could be a nice little transfer. I'm not sure about Lacazette. Got a bit of an injury. And again, Pepe, we don't know if he's going to play week in, week out. So it is a bit of a risk in that sense. But if you're that kind of player, that kind of FPL manager, this is not the worst time to bring him in, I think. Yeah, defence probably would avoid Arsenal defence, personally. I was actually looking on the season ticker on the Fantasy Football Scout, and I clicked to defence over the next 4 or 5. I think Arsenal are up there because of the fixtures. I just thought, no, can't do it. If Pepper catches form, he'll be red hot. Might have to ban you for that joke. That is bad. Alright, let's do the polls. There's only a few today. While I'm refreshing these, make sure to like the stream. Make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. We are on 53,000 subscribers now, and we are pushing for 2 million. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead and do that now. And I'll refresh so we can do the polls. Where are they? So best sub, 7 million striker. Pookie Barnes, someone else. Pookie still massively out on top, 59%. Barnes on 32%. Someone else on 8%. Who else under 7 million? Don't know if there's that many, too many options. But yeah, Pookie's still much loved, even though he's got Man City in 2 away games. Play 1 this week, Pookie or Lundstrom. 59% saying Lundstrom. 41% saying Pookie. People agreeing. Damn. Don't know, maybe that's not the way to go. Yeah, it does seem to be buffering. I don't know why, I apologise. Hopefully it won't die. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'll keep going anyway, just in case. Your Game Week 5 captain, Sterling 51%, miles ahead. Then 24% Salah, 14% on AGUERO, 4% on De Bruyne, and then 4% on someone else. So big love for Sterling. 24% for Salah is still pretty good though. I think it still looks like it's buffering. Although the stream health says green to me, so hopefully it's not too bad. You're playing Lundstrom and Pookie. I mean, I could do that. I could just bench Zinchenko. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Ridiculous how Salah is still at 12.5 million while Sterling's risen 3 times. The form's practically identical. The biggest difference is Sterling scored a hat-trick Game Week 1. And so, to be fair, Salah wasn't that far behind. 1 goal, 1 assist. It's not awful. Obviously, well, it's 2 goals. But, yeah, you score a hat trick, and also you do it in game week 1 where there's as many active managers as there's going to be for the whole season. A lot of people bring him in. This is exactly what you needed. Please say you're going for longer. I have got great news. Well, actually, it's bad news. I'm going to end things there. Thanks for all your questions. Cheers to all the Patreons. Thanks to the new members on the YouTube channel. Thanks for everyone that helped moderate tonight. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the liking. Thanks for the polls. Thanks for everyone. Thanks to everyone, I should say. If you're not already, give the stream a like. Will there be another stream this week? Probably not. Maybe on Saturday for deadline. We'll see if I'm around. If not, I apologise. Hopefully you have a good week. I'm probably going to stick with this team unless there's any major news tomorrow, which I, well, not expecting it, but you never know, right?